Uh, John, jl76 Gaming, the Executioner, competition time, and 3 questions. I can remember back when I just started my channel, John invited me for an interview, which we did, the Desert Island Games one, and I really enjoyed that. That's a long time ago. That is just a little tidbit of information. So John asked 3 questions, and of course I'm not going to stick to the rules that he set. The Highlander doesn't stick to rules. The Highlander doesn't stick to your rules, John. You know how it works. The Executioner, that's a different matter altogether. But see if I can remember. There were 3 questions. 1, what's your favorite grog? What's your favorite drink? And the other one is, what's the 3 favorite pirate games or games with pirates you ever played? And the last one, what's the thing that you value most in your gaming collection that cost you nothing or next to nothing? Let's do the drinks first, because I have my opener here, and really, John, I don't drink a lot of alcohol at all. I used to drink a little bit more when I had the cooking school, and I drank a lot of wine. But in the end, you know, it was work, and you shouldn't drink while you work. So I sort of, well, you know, I drink once in a while, but not too much though. But I do like my beer. I used to be more of a wine fan, but I like my beers more. So I have 3 beers here, but I want to make them count as one. I like beer. The thing is that when we say beer in this country, we usually mean the thing that the British call a lager, which means that the yeast that is used to produce the beer works at lower temperatures. Now that is just one style of beer, but we call that beer. Talk about beer, then you say, it's actually pils, what we drink mostly. Heineken, Amstel, whatever, it's all pils. One kind of beer. Now, a friend of mine actually brews beer, and he's taught me a lot about beer in general. But the thing is that all the other kinds of beers, and there are thousands across the world, we call special beers. So here's a situation where you have thousands of beers, thousands of styles and kinds of beers. One of them is pils, we call that beer, and all the rest we call special beers. So in my mind that should be the other way around. It's all beer, and pils is special beer. That's the way I feel about it. My favorite drinks, you know, if I look at what I drink most, is actually coffee and water. That's what I drink most. I don't get the most fun out of that, so let's go with the beers. Now, one of them is a Belgian beer called La Chouffe. Now, there are several kinds of beers. Their trademark is a little midget, and this particular beer is 8% alcohol volume. We'll just call it 8%, right? It's a very tasteful beer. It's a blonde beer. It's from the Ardennes, and it's a very nice flavor. It's this is the type of beer where the yeast that is used, you know, works at higher temperatures, so it's a little bit fruity. It's a very well-known flavor. This one. Now, if I'm in a little bit less fancy mood, I'll have another. This is another Belgian beer, which is called Leffe Blonde, 6.6%. So it's a little bit lighter. It's still not, you know, you can't call this pils. It's another blonde beer. Um, it's not Pils because it has too much alcohol in it. It's sort of, it says, right, sweet bitter. I like bitter beers. You know, that's why I like IPAs, although some of the IPAs are crazy bitter, which is not fun. You need to find a balance, but this is a fun beer as well. Now, two of these are Belgian beers. Actually, this year is like the first year that the Dutch have more beer breweries than Belgium does. Which is funny because Belgium has always been more of a beer country than the Netherlands. But in the past few years, Dutch supermarkets have been selling more kinds of beer, which they always only had the one kind, Pils. That was it. And now we have IPAs, and we have like brown beers, and we have like Guinness, and we have all kinds of stuff in which is nice. Now, the Dutch Pils brewers also except Heineken. You know, Heineken is cat piss. I don't drink it. I don't like it. It's really like an export beer for foreign markets. That's the way I see it. That doesn't mean that it's not popular in this country because it's being, it gets sold a lot. But the local brewers, the other ones, have sort of responded to the IPA thing, because IPAs and special beers have been really popular, and one of them is Brand. This beer is called Brand. It's a brand of beer, but it's also called Brand, and this is their IPA version. Now, this is a type of beer that normally would have a little bit more hops in it already, which is what makes it a little bit more bitter than usual. But they've made an IPA, and the nice thing about this is like 7%, so this is even more alcohol than the other. Maybe I'll open. I wanted to open this one, but I'm going to open up the other one, the left one. But this one is also an IPA, but it's not as bitter. These people know how to make a good beer and a nice IPA, which is not too crazy bitter. But I'm not going to open it. I wanted to open this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to open the left one. So those are my favorite 3 beers. There we go. I'm glad that's over with because I'm thirsty. Now, always have a cold glass and rinse it with water and let the water run out. The answer to my second question is short, which is why I was able to talk a little bit. Talk a little bit more about the drinking part. I've never played a single game with pirates in it, so I don't have a favorite. I'm pretty sure I could go through all of my games and find none with a pirate in it, not even an accidental one. And I know there are Lego games, and of course there is probably a Pirates of the Caribbean game, but I've never played them. So, pirates, no, sorry. And that probably puts me out of the competition, but I don't really mind. The last question, that's the one that I'm going to have the most fun with. Sure, I have lots of stuff that I'm really happy with, and that I got for next to nothing, or nothing. Now, let's start with my PC. I haven't been a PC gamer in ages. And then Evo Haler, remember Evo Haler? Giles, he invited me to play DayZ, and I didn't have a PC. And I asked Lactobacillus, Mark, don't you have any old hardware lying around that I could buy off you? And then he gave me his old PC, which is, he did so very graciously. But I upgraded it, and but I put a new motherboard in, and I bought a new graphics card. So basically, I rebuilt it. But the basic thing was free from Mark. it came with a screen and a keyboard and a mouse and everything, and so I'm still using that. So that was free, and I'm really happy with it because I'm doing a lot with that thing. I'm very happy with that purchase gift actually. So that was free. Now the other thing, after I stopped basically playing DayZ, I started playing Elite, also with Giles. And when you play Elite, you need, or well, you don't need, but you know, it's the game is better enjoyed with a flight stick, a hands-on throttle and stick kind of thing, with, you know, where your left hand is on the throttle and your right hand is on the flight stick. Now there are many crazy expensive flight sticks out there, one of them being the Cytec X52. The X52 Pro is basically the really expensive one, but try to get an X52 for under $100 and you'll be hard pressed to do that. I found one in the thrift store for $750. I still feel great about that. I talked to someone who knows the owner of that store, and I said to him, you know, I got something there for a really low price, just because he didn't know what he was selling. And you know, pretty shortly after that, the prices in that store, and I'm not saying that it, you know, that is something to do with me, but the prices in his store for controllers went up. He had a PS2 controller for $10, and I bought the Cytec for $750. So I'm still very happy with that. You cannot find a Cytec X52, and it hasn't failed me once. You know, it's a perfect machine for $750. Great. So a free PC with a Cytec X52 for $750. That is great. Now, and I guess the other ones are like my game cabinets. Sure, you know, they look like crap, and they're battered, and the cabinets don't go with the games that are inside them. But I don't care. When I started collecting video games again, the first things, you know, I can remember how it went. You know, I was looking on the internet. There was this website called pinball.nl or whatever, and I got in touch with this guy about something, about cabinets, and he had a forum, and I asked him a question and blah blah, and I went to his and he had a little place where he stored his stuff, and I got there, and it was full of cabinets. He was trading them. Just him, you know, he had a job and he did this like on the side, and it was great. I just wanted to work with him and repair cabinets all day. That was, so he had these puppies, and I think I paid $70 or something, you know, for a cabinet, and he sold me the PCBs for even less. I mean, I got a bootleg Galaga, a Crazy Kong. Yeah, those are the PCBs that I got. So this is really cheap cabinet stuff, but I'm really happy with this. You know, micro switched everything, great. So that's my yeah, those are my my things. That's my answer, John, and that's how I enter your competition. Congratulations on this, because this is like a 300 sub. Yeah, 300 subs. I don't know how long you've been going, John, but you're ahead of me in subscribers, which is as it should be, because I really like your Desert Island Games interviews. I think they're a great record for anyone, you know, in like 10 or 20 years who wants to go back and You know, how about my daughter? You know, as soon as she understands English, she can go back and find an interview with her dad. You know, how cool is that? So I think that's really valuable. Am I kissing up? I hope not. I don't intend to anyway. So thanks, John. Good luck. On to the next 500 or 300. Make 6 and have fun with the channel. We'll talk later. Bye, John.